What is going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are looking at Bitcoin today. Some big stuff is unraveling in the charts, some stuff that I've been looking for personally, waiting for to happen. It is happening right now, has happened, and let's just get into it without any further ado. So looking at the ribbon here on a weekly basis, we did very, very barely, but technically, we did close below the yellow line. Which is a bad thing for the price. It's a good thing for the bears, bad thing for the bulls, but a bad thing for price overall. You can see close below the yellow. If we can get this week to close below the yellow as well, having 2 weeks close below the yellow in a row, having a week that opened and closed below the yellow, if this week is bad enough, this yellow line can actually drop. So even though it's open below the yellow now, by the end of this week, that might not be true. The yellow line could be way lower, but that just depends. I wouldn't be surprised if today, because today's being Sunday right now, it is past the new, the new day technically, on the chart. If we go on the day here, it's a Monday. Technically, this is Monday's candle, but we are on Sunday here, and I would expect over the next 24 to 36 hours, maybe if this week is to see any upside, it's probably going to happen in the next day to 2 days. And the upside will not be tremendous at all. It won't be anything to gawk at or be worried about or be hopeful of, whatever side you're looking at. Things look bearish, man. Things really look bearish. If we're looking at the ribbon here on the 4-hour time frame, it's not really too respected. I'm going to be fair on that, but it is rejecting it right now. It looks like it wants to expand, bearish. If we're looking on the daily, we did just get this fresh cross here, and I want to go over some things of why this is such a big deal. Okay, why this is such a big deal, closing below this yellow here. So, when we crossed up here on the weekly, from a high point to a low point after the cross, which was this week here. So this point here, high point to a low point, pretty shortly actually, 2 weeks, I guess, technically 2 weeks after that week, we dropped a total of 37%. This was after the cross, okay? After we were, I guess, so we didn't cross here. We were still bullish. This is where the cross happened, bearish. But we were in the ribbon here, just like we're in the ribbon now. It was postured differently. The red line's below here where the red line's up. But when we closed below the yellow line, when we closed below it, the week that we had to follow, we had 1 or 2 weeks. I guess we had a week where it went down 5%. This week it came up a little bit. But ultimately, this was just the beginning of this total move here, this total 37% move from high to low after the cross. And really, if you threw in another 6 weeks after that, this drop was a lot bigger than 37%, being at potentially 56%. And the true low was down here on the weekly. That's on the weekly. Now, why this is big is not because of the weekly cross, in my opinion. It's because of the daily cross. I'll make sense of it in a second. Just bear with me. This is big, closing below the yellow line, because that to me just further confirms what we're seeing on the daily cross. And the daily cross for the ribbon is a lot more of a big deal, in my opinion, because this cross here, the last time that we saw a daily bearish cross, okay, we go back, this was a fake out. I'm not going to call that. I think this was a fake cross up. It's really just a pinch and an expansion. That's really all that is. Not a legitimate cross. We didn't get a legitimate move to follow through. I'm not counting it as a legitimate cross. This is a legitimate cross. From the high to the low, to the immediate low, we dropped 41%, okay? 41%. If we go to the last time before that we crossed, okay, from high, I don't know, when did this cross take place technically? It took place not that day, so this day. So from high to low, relative low, I guess, would be this candle here. But, it kept going lower, but I'd say this is the relative low, 27% from high to low. I don't know. You get the cross here. This was a false cross down, so I'm going to call this a cross. I guess it's not a cross. That's a bounce. This would be your bullish cross right here. And from low to high this time, low to basically immediate high right here, 29%. You see what I'm getting at is that these are some significant moves that happen after this cross. And to certify that it's not just something that's going to be disrespected later, it comes down and then comes back up. No, it's going to be respected. from a high, I want to go from the high to low after the cross. So I guess that would be here. High. Nope. Yeah, from high to like the most relative low, 42%. So we got a couple 42%. This was a bullish one, so I'm not going to count that. A 27% drop, whatever, on the daily. Even here, whenever we were in the band itself, this drop here was basically a 44% drop. I am expecting from this high after the cross, right, because we're measuring from the high after the cross, I am expecting at least a 40% drop from here. If not bigger, honestly, but at least, and again, those drops, we'll go back, I'll zoom it out in a second, but those drops were not, and 40% would put us at about 17,000, but those drops were not the bottoms. They were not the bottoms, right? They were temporary lows, and then there's the bottom, right? Temporary low, there's another low. Temporary low, there's another low. Temporary low even, there's more lows to come. So I don't expect that this will be the end of everything. That once we go here, once we go to 17,000, that Bitcoin's ready to go up from there. I don't think so. I think it's just getting ready. I think then at that point it's going to be closer to halfway done with its down move. We'll get a move up, a little bit of consolidation, probably somewhere in this like bottoming price range, which makes sense to me, before officially breaking it to the downside. And I'm really excited about this. I'm really excited to see the weekly close below the yellow line, because to me it validates this daily cross more, and it validates that the potential price action we're going to see is going to be to the downside. And anytime we contract like this with the band and we come down to expansion of the band, it's only brought with big moves. And this band closing below the yellow line, to me, the EMA ribbon, it makes it look like it wants to expand. Long story short. And besides the EMA ribbon, something else that's exciting that happened on this weekend that I've been pointing out now for weeks. So I'm going to go over over this in detail too. But on the weekly time frame, we've officially crossed below the 50 on the RSI. We're officially below it right now. And this is a big deal because anytime at all in Bitcoin's history, and you can measure it yourself if you want, but anytime that we have gone from being in an oversold or overbought zone above this dashed dotted line here, right, above that, anytime we've done that and then gone below the 50, not just slightly, here we went slightly below, you can see, right, we're even a little bit lower than we are now, and we bounced, okay, we had an immediate bounce afterwards. And actually, let's just look at that to double check that. This low was here. Yeah, technically on Monday, whenever the next week opened up, even it went down a little bit too. Not a lot, but the wick down implies that it went down for sure. So, and this wick down here implies that this got even further away from the 50. So we're not out of it yet. It's just looking like like most things. This isn't common to barely break the 50. If we go back in time and we look at all the weekly, I think that might be the only time that it's done that from up to down. You get it from down to up more often. Here it's above the 50, above the 50, slightly below the 50 once, okay, twice. It happens. It does happen, I guess, a couple times. We've got a few iterations where that's happened, and I'm not anticipating that to be the case this time. It could be, but this is where the critical moments are going to happen. And the fact that the ribbon looks the way it does, the fact that we're here on the RSI at these levels already, and we've got the purple line here dipping down, we're below it. Our long-term RSI looks like it wants to go below the 50, though we're not quite there yet. Once we get below the 50, to me, this is like the last domino that needs to fall. Really, other than the price getting, below 25,000. If we could get below 25,000, that'd be really nice. And I know that we're basically there with this being closed below the 50, but we could get a bounce here. We could. I don't see it happening. If we go on the daily time frames, we look at some smaller stuff. I don't see us bouncing here, having a significant bounce that'll last, because we've got like 1, 2, 3, 4 touches down here. We're at the bottom of a previous price range, testing it and even finding, in my opinion, resistance on a previous level of support and just being held down, showing very weak readings on the RSI. The political climate and the economic climate of the world is not in good standings right now, especially not with crypto. Altcoins are taking a dump. BTC.D is up and it is breaking out. It's getting ready to break out. This normally happens during downtrends. You know, there's a lot of things going on to me that just scream that this thing wants to go lower. And when it's completely been vindicated, when it's been validated, we're almost there. We're basically there. With the weekly close being there, we're basically there. But I want to see price get a little bit further. Being below 25,000 would really seal the deal for me. But once we get there, and I already, to me, it's like we're already there. But to the charts, it's not. To the charts, let's be fair, we don't have that confirmation yet. It looks like it. It really looks like it. And with the weekly close, that was exactly what I was looking for. But from top to bottom, 52%. 52% is the minimum low that I'm expecting. That's going to put us below $15,900. 52%. That's the minimum drop in price that I'm expecting. And I'll go over why. If you've seen this before, you already know where I'm going with this, but we're gonna identify it right now. I'm gonna take away this long-term RSI. You can do it yourself if you want. I got the 10 RSI pulled up here. You just go to indicators, go to technicals, scroll down to the R's. It is alphabetically listed. Relative strength index. I put a star by it, so it's just in my favorites menu whenever I get up there. Just because these are in my favorites doesn't mean I use them. As you can see, mainly I just use the moving average and 2 RSIs and volume. That's what I use. You can. I think you have to keep volume on there. I don't know why volume isn't one of my favorites, but it's in there. Anyways, how I came to this conclusion that basically what we're seeing right now is indicative. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it that we are at least going down here. Is here we were overbought. We were above the dashed line here. In the purple zone, we went to the black zone, right? So from high of that overbought zone, right, you can see all the way down this, my cursor has a dotted line with it right down here. From the high there to the low before crossing above the 50. Here it came up a little bit. Here was a temporary low, sure. But before crossing above the 50 again, like it did over here, the low was 52%, okay? You bring it back to the next one here. Okay, we're high here. We're overbought here. So high there. The low before breaking above the 50, which we broke above the 50 on this move. So the low that we had down here, 55%. These are the smallest drops we've had. They only get bigger from here. They really do. This one is questionable. There is debate on it. I call it a 53% drop. I guess this one is with those other ones, and to me that makes more sense. They're more common with each other, percentage wise. And anyways, like we were having this like lower high. It kind of looked like we were in like a funnel down, and this low is what sent us out of it and ultimately lower. But it could be this low here. It is possible because we did break above the 50. I'm calling this, just like this was over here, it was a slight penetration and then you got a rejection. I think this is a rejection off the 50. I think this is a false break, and especially just red week after that. I think, we were just in volatile times, and sometimes the rule can be a little disrespected but still makes sense. And with the 47% drop, it could make sense. With the 53% drop, to me, that makes more sense. That's more like literally in the range of what we've seen. And to me, again, if we just look at it, this looks like a whole move down here, right? Like this wasn't the low of this move. This broke it out. This is a bull trap and then down to a bigger bear trap and then up. But I would call that the low, personally. That's what I'm going with. So explaining all that, 53%. Overbought here, and then to the low, there's really no argument on this one here. From top to bottom, 70%. And then, we go back. So these ones here, they were overbought, but they did not break the 50. They didn't break the 50. Again, this one kind of broke the 50, but not really. It had like barely below it, but I'm calling that a bounce off the 50. Same, all these tops to bottoms. But here, we went below the 50, but the top wasn't above in the overbought zone. So here we are, overbought, broke below the 50. So I would say at this top to this low, hits the standard we're looking for. Okay, 72%, 72%. Right here from high, it did go below the 50. So from high, to low, technically that low happened in this time. 81%. If you want to measure it from that low, 75%. 81, 75%, whatever. This did not go below the 50. This did not get into overbought. Here we are, overbought here. And then the next low that happened, really was 82%, or depending on how you want to count it, that could be a 92% drop. And that's it, okay? That's all of it. And I'm going to zoom it out here, and we're going to look at it. We're just going to take a look at it. I'm going to talk about it, and we're going to look at it. Okay? So, and I'm going to have to pull up my indicator again. So, here we are, right? In the history, in the entire history, this is all of it. This is the USD Bitcoin. I type in BTC USD index, all-time history index for Bitcoin. That's what this is, okay? This is all of it. In its history, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, 8 times where the RSI has been overbought and then went below the 50, okay? In a convincing manner. It didn't just slightly go below it, in a convincing manner. And I think that we're experiencing our 8th one, okay? I think, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 8. Lucky magic 8, I don't know. Okay? And every single time that this has happened, and it's only happened 8 times. That's not a whole lot of iterations, but it's enough in my opinion. And it's a very special circumstance, very specific parameter to kind of meet. What this is saying too, if you look back at it, right? If you really look back at it, right, you're overbought, break the 50, you go to oversold zones. You're overbought here, you break the 50, but you didn't go to oversold zones. That's okay. This was kind of a stop. If you look at it between the real high here, this was a fake high, this was the real high. So it makes sense it didn't go oversold. But you break the 50, eventually you go oversold, right? Overbought, break the 50 over here, you go into the oversold zone. Break the 50 over here, you did go into the oversold zone just a little bit. You break the 50 here, you kind of went overbought, whatever, went into the oversold zone eventually. Overbought, you broke the 50. I think we're going into the oversold zone. And we're going to see really strong moves. The bear market's not going to be over until we're at least, even if it's a little dip, a little taste, like these were. Until it's something like that, we're destined for the downside, in my opinion. Or if Bitcoin can get a significant bounce here, if we can get a significant bounce, then it's on. Then it's on for the bulls. But I don't think so. I think we're showing very weak readings. Not just in the weekly RSI, but on the daily RSI and the monthly as well. Rejecting the 50, not looking good in my opinion. Not the reaction you want. There's no volume coming in. Nobody's coming to rescue the day. The media is bad. There is, let's just see here. Crypto Fear and Greed Index. Crypto Fear and Greed Index. 47, pretty neutral, technically on the the lower half, but it's basically right there in the neutral zone. So things are looking bearish, but there's not really a bearish hold in the media, I would say. If we go on Twitter, even just I might do this a different time. I want to kind of get back to the main point. The main point is that we've had 8 iterations in Bitcoin's history where on a weekly basis we have been overbought and then crossed below the 50. We're in the middle of that right now. We're potentially in the middle of one of these real movements right now. And the lowest percentage drop we got was this one right here. 52.18%, okay? The next lowest was 53. The next lowest was, I'm going to make this more visible, okay, 53%. Next lowest was 55. And then we had 72, 70, yeah. One of those guys. And from there, it just gets bigger. 72, 75, 82. The smallest one we've had was this one right here. And out of the 8 that we've had so far, only 3 of them have been in the 50 percentiles, okay? One of them arguably is in the 80%, or it could have been, it could be, what is this? Could be 69%. Let's take the small. Let's be kind, okay? And I think that's actually not the high, so that's actually bad. That was wrong. 82%. Even if we so 82% One of them's 82%, 3 of them are 50%, and then 3 of them are 70%ers, okay? Yeah, there's the third. So we got 3 70s, 3 50s, and 1 80%er. In my opinion, I don't think that it's going to stop here. I don't think that whenever it gets down to the 52% mark, maybe I just need to delete all these. I've got too much stuff on the chart right now. Whenever it gets to the 52% mark, I don't think it's going to stop. From top, again, not from current price, from top, 52%. On average, most of them were over 70%. So if we went in between 50 and 70, if we did a 60% drop, that puts us below 13,000. That puts us at 12,000. If we were to go to $10,000, that would be a 67% drop. And if we were to go to as low as like 7,200 even, that's a 76% drop. All of these numbers are possible. All of these numbers, and then even technically we've seen bigger, right? We've seen an 82. I don't anticipate this. I don't expect a move that's going to be below $6,000 or even below $7,000 personally. I do anticipate a move below $10,000. I am expecting somewhere between $10,000 and $7,000. Somewhere in there will be our low. Likely even lower than that, $9,000 to $7,000, I might say. All of this because of the very exceptional environment that we are in right now. Tie that in with, there's a lot more bearish things happening in the charts besides just this. But that's all I wanted to say. If you like the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe. You'll see more stuff. If you've heard all this before, thank you for being with me still. I know that I sometimes go off the same stuff because, like this, I have been calling for this for weeks now, but we haven't actually had it. I've been calling for this drop below the 50, and that's really why I'm making this video today, is we do have it today. And as we go lower, it's only going to verify everything that I've just been saying and the things that I've been saying for the past weeks, months, whatever, that this is going to be the longest bear market. We are in the middle of the longest bear market that Bitcoin has ever experienced in its history so far. Maybe in its history ever, but at least so far. I don't expect the next bear market to be this bad. Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm bearish. I'm definitely bearish on Bitcoin. That's all I got to say. I think tomorrow and today have a chance of being bullish. We might get little bullish moves, a little bullish pop to close the gap or whatever, get people excited. Maybe we go to the purple line around 26.5. Maybe we pump up $500. Maybe we pump up a whole $1,000 from here. I doubt it, but maybe, we could. And even if that happens, I wouldn't be impressed. I really wouldn't be impressed by anything that was below 27.5. Any move below 27.5 is not going to be impressive, and even then, it's still not impressive. We really need to take this high out, but anything down. And then as far as going down goes, anything that doesn't take out 25, let's say 25.3. Anything above 25.3, I'm not too excited about either. So we're still in a range. We haven't made our move yet. Things are getting ready for sure. We're definitely getting ready for this fantastic move to the downside. And just if you want to be involved and stay in tuned and be informed as this happens and hear it from my voice, like and subscribe. I will provide more content. I'm here whether or not I get likes or whether or not I get subscribers. I do take requests. If you guys would have a chart or anything, whether it's a stock or a crypto or a commodity, whatever, I'll look at it. I'll make a video. I will literally make a video just for you. I don't have to say your name if you don't want it. I can say your name. I don't care. But leave a comment. Leave a comment and let me know which ones you want. Leave the symbol, right? This is the symbol. If I wanted to do Facebook, right? I think it's Meta, right? Yeah, Meta platforms. So, META, or if I wanted NVIDIA, it's NVDA, right? It's not, you don't spell out the whole thing, but you can spell out the whole thing and I can try to find the symbol too. But if it's like an obscure thing, I might need more than that is all I'm saying. So the symbol definitely helps. Anyways, bearish on Bitcoin. Maybe today and tomorrow it's bullish. Ultimately, I am bearish on Bitcoin though. That's all I got for you guys. Take care. Have a good day. Peace out.